You know, you remember the UN speech, and I actually, so you're not so offended, I actually got this from a website in Israel, and the actual headline that day was, "Who is the Jew that wrote Trump's speech?" So I just like for you to, I like for you, when you're out there researching, take a little time. I'd like for you to look up Stephen Miller. He's still there in the White House. He's a kind of a pretty good attack dog. My understanding is he wrote the speech that Trump gave in the UN, and he has solidified his influence in the White House. I'd like for you to take a minute and look up Stephen Miller. Okay, that is interesting. Some other headlines as you go through. This comes from The Hill. Do you ever, like, does laughter come to the, I mean, do you laugh out loud when you hear deficit hawks voice worry over direction of tax plan? And it's like people like Bob Coker from Tennessee. But do you enjoy when you hear deficit hawk when these people have been there for quite some time? It could have just shut things down. All right. Trump says, why isn't Senate looking into fake news networks? I could not agree more, okay, with that question. So why is the Senate not? Because they're complicit, because they're with them, they're in bed with them, they're aligned with them? They are looking now. They were able to determine on Stephen Paddock and the Nevada Las Vegas shooter. They're immediately, the FBI is coming out with all these determinations of Paddock, determinations about how who he was linked to, not linked to. Sources say there's pictures that show a suicide note, and there was one. Why are we not seeing the note? So many questions surrounding that. And they're making so many determinations so early on, but we're 9 months or over a year. Is it 9 months into a Russian investigation and we don't have enough, but we can go further? Why are we not looking at fake news? We have looked at, now keep in mind, folks, we are looking into Russia. Keep in mind, you have to think this out. We are looking into Russia planting fake news stories via the social media. So one more time, we're looking into millions of dollars, millions of your tax dollars, into Russia using fake social media to spread fake news to manipulate the election. What is the difference of what Joe Scarborough and Minka Brzezinski do, and Barnacle and the rest, and CNN? What is the difference of them planning fake news stories on social media or their networks to manipulate your thoughts and your mind of what's happening? Because we show you multiple times over and over, Rex Tillerson did one of two things. He went to the podium yesterday, Secretary of State, and told you the truth, or Rex Tillerson went to the podium yesterday, your Secretary of State, and lied to you. That's it. He either told the truth or lied. If he told the truth, NBC has spent 2 days trying to figure out if his Secretary of State called him a moron. Just saying, folks, just saying. Okay? The other thing, be careful. Be careful with stuff. Be careful for falling for this. Be careful for in your time of compassion and love and caring, okay? And singing, "We Are the World," all right? While we're out there doing our Live Aid, "We Are the World," chanting back and forth and singing together. While we are singing the "I'd like to buy the world a Coke," and teach them how to sing, okay? While we're doing all of that, locking arms in unity, don't forget common sense gun proposals or the how can you argue now? It's time to have the discussion. Gun proposal picks up GOP support. A Democrat proposal to ban special accessories known as bump stock, that's going through the roof. It is selling like crazy, which allows a semi-automatic gun to fire several hundred rounds in a minute, is gaining unsuspected support from Republicans in both chambers. Okay? So, I mean, Sandy Hook, we couldn't get things fixed then, but Representative Bill Flores of Texas, a former Republican Study Committee chairman, was the first Republican in Congress to publicly endorse a ban on bump stocks. I think they should be banned. There's no reason for a typical gun owner to own anything that converts a semi-automatic to something that behaves like an automatic. Be careful, folks. Be careful. They want to have... I'm saying it so much, it's bothering you. Be careful of it. There's nothing wrong with having the conversation. That's what we hear. The conversation. Nothing wrong with that, right? Or common sense legislation. It is something, you don't like it, but don't forget. A man walked up and looked at a baseball field and said, are those Republicans practicing? Or are those Democrats? You see, the only thing between getting the gun conversation on the floor of the House and in the Senate is if you and I get attacked. I'm serious. So don't forget, supposedly Stephen Paddock, along with maybe others, opened fire on what may have been 92% Trump supporters, opened fire on what have been 92% of Trump voters, opened fire on probably 58 people that somewhat maybe agree with Trump that are dead, and 500 wounded at a country music concert. Not Democrats, not liberal left. See, this wasn't a concert of the mamas and the papas, okay, and the flower children. Don't forget it. I'm your host, BKP. Tomorrow we will be at, I'm trying to get used to this, I will miss Sycamore Crossing, Blue Jeans Pizza in Blue Ridge tomorrow, 8 a.m. I'm out. It's over. Take us out.